These are the stories we're tracking at this hour, and joining us is Charles Fakroha, IBrandTV senior analyst. He joins us via the telephone. Hello, Charles. Good to have you join us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, etc.
All right, good to have you. Well, let's start from the very beginning. Let's look at the stories we have right here. I'd like to have your thought.
Yes, looking at that story that the federal government reviews policy to boost earnings, that is looking at our trade policy. This is long overdue because, like you have said, when that policy was reviewed, it was as far back as 2014. So now we're talking about 2022, almost 20 years ago. And so many new things have happened. We have seen new development in terms of technology, e-commerce, and other payment platforms. And of course, with the African Free Trade Area Agreement has also been signed. So it's a welcome development, but at the same time, the government needs to be very intentional in terms of review of some of these trade policies. Because there is one thing to have a policy, and there's another thing to implement what you have in your policy. So it is only by implementing this policy judiciously that we might begin to see some of the benefits of trade.
Well, looking at the review, what do you expect that this review will birth? Or what are the reviews you're expecting, really?
Yes, so what I expect is the review should take into consideration some of the new developments. Like we are talking about the e-commerce, I'm talking of payment system. Okay? So when it was done in 2002, there was nothing like e-commerce. The time we have e-commerce, we have a lot of payment systems. So that trade policy to capture this new development to enhance the current trade agenda.
All right, the second story is Alton, that's the telecommunication industry, talking about how dire, a situation they are in, especially in the area of accessing forex. And they are saying if care is not taken, they might just get to the point where the aviation industry was a few months ago. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's a little bit embarrassing that it's very obvious that the Nigerian government needs to up its game. We've seen the kind of crisis we are having in the aviation sector. Now, we are also having that in the telecom sector. And like you have said, the telecom sector is equally very, very important to any nation's economy. But these operators having issues in trying to access forex should not get to this level. Because everything goes back to the nature and structure of our economy. We are not having enough forex because we are not getting enough revenue. So there will be no forex to give out. So it goes back, the government has to look at its structure very well in terms of our revenue generation. Because you cannot continue to allow operators to suffer in this kind of environment. How are they going to contribute their own quota in terms of economic development?
Let me come in here very quickly. Talking about revenue generation, in this case, I think we'll have to probably focus on foreign exchange earning. And we know the federal government has tried maybe some policies, for example, the RT200, the Naira for dollar, in a bid to increase foreign exchange earning, howbeit from the non-oil sector. But looking at this, shouldn't the federal government, pay more attention to deepening foreign exchange earning to do all it can to ensure that, we have that, sorted?
Yes, I agree with you. It is not just to give incentives, RT200 forex and all that. We need to diversify the economy. The non-oil sector we are talking about, it is not just saying it. We need to go down to the business to ensure that, yes, these areas of this non-oil sector are to be identified and we begin to implement and carry out issues in these non-oil sectors. We need to encourage SME to produce and export. Then how do you do that when the economic environment is not there? So the government needs to come back and ensure that the issue of power, we empower our SME so that they produce competitively and their products are high quality standards. So when they get to the international community, it is accepted and we are able to receive that foreign exchange, that will go a long way in solving these some of these issues we are having in the aviation industry and of course now in the telecom industry.
All right. Well, the conversation today is not about the aviation industry. I would have just asked you one or two questions in that regard. Very quickly, let's move on to the oil and gas sector. We're looking at how that Nigeria's oil production has dropped dramatically, and then the outputs already slides. Yes, that's what we have, that Nigeria output slides again in September. That's a very, very big one. Talk to us about this.
Well, if somebody who has done something with the oil and gas industry, I am ashamed that all the experts we keep talking about the production quota dropping. We are no longer the major producer or high producer in Africa. Angola are taking over and all that. The issue is oil theft. It has been identified. That is a very major step. Now it has been identified. What are the things we need to do to ensure that this oil theft does not continue? And some of the experts have told us that the theft will just have to be open. It's an organized crime. An organized crime. And anywhere in the world where you have this kind of large-scale organized crime, they always outsmart the law enforcement because they are organized. The law enforcement is not even organized. And it's also noted here clearly that the law enforcement and even the government is involved. How can such huge vessels come and load products and they just sail in our international waters and they go and sell? We are being told we are losing over $10 billion on a daily basis. Scientists have just discovered 4-kilometer illegal pipeline. And they are saying this has been done for over 9 years.
Let's talk about this one now. The discovery that was just made. There are those that are saying that, we cannot pretend not to know about this. We can't pretend not to know that something is happening somewhere, because usually when you probably pump some gas or some oil into a particular place, it's expected that at the end of the day the measurement is the same. But when you pump gas or when you pump oil, and at the end of the day what is at the receiving end is way lower than what was pumped. I mean, shouldn't that have been an indication that something was wrong? Why did it take so long?
Yes, it goes to address what I said earlier. It's an organized crime. And when you talk about organized crime all over the world, a lot of people say collaboration. Because you cannot tell me, like you have said, you are loading, you know what you have produced, then you are loading, at the end of the day, nothing happens. Now, whether you agree with it or not, it is political.
Okay, very quickly, I think we should just talk about the last story now. This is about the risk factors that are pushing food access crisis to continue. Talk to us about this.
Yes, the food crisis will continue. Now, the situation are still coming out again. I've seen incidents of COVID-19, where Russia-Ukraine crisis. Again, access to dollar, access to forex is also a problem. The naira falling on a daily basis. So even though we are going to be importing this food, we are going to be paying so much money and getting less quantity of this food. So these are some of the issues that will continue to make this food crisis increase. But at the same time again, when you are talking of food production, for me it has to be local. We need to stop this as smallholders farming we are doing.
All right.
Then we encourage them, but we have to know that more and more industrial agriculture,
okay, thank you so much.
mechanization is required for us to continue to feed ourselves.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. We're pressed for time.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, we'll take a break now, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.